this is Howard, the Teaser King, coming to you with week 4 of the NFL already. Just love how time flies. It's already week 4. We're just waiting for the season to start. Let's see. I had such a strong week last week. I just knew it was going to be a strong week. The only loser was Green Bay. Indy, New Orleans, great lock, such an obvious lock. They both were 0-2. They both had to win. They're both playing teams that, Minnesota with Peterson might have been different. Without Peterson, was fine. Castle gets hurt. Bridgewater scrambled so much. And then the Indy against Jacksonville. Indy owns Jacksonville, and they beat them all the time. And Andrew Luck, and they were 0-2, but they played two good teams, and they played well in both games. And it was just a matter of they had to win the game, so it was a must-win against a crappy team like Jacksonville. So that's why it was such a big lock, and that's what I look for: strength against weakness, especially when teams need a game. They're 0-2, they must win. That's another factor I'm looking into. So I'm not just playing the numbers, saying, oh, this is a good home favorite, this is a good road dog. First I'm looking at the injuries, and I'm looking at, do they need the game, and who's healthy, and what happens, and all that stuff. I look a lot at who needs the game. That's a critical factor when I'm handicapping, is the other motivation besides just playing and just the trends. I don't look at just the trends. The trends help me for sure, but I don't look at it. This week's going to be a tough week in pros. I basically, I like the Giants tonight, but I didn't play them because of all the injuries on the Giants. The trend was, this is a perfect example, the trend was New York. They were 5-1 in Washington, but because of all the injuries, I laid away from them. I wanted to see, I know they were having problems with their offense, but they looked fixed. Let's see, they're up 45-14. That's pretty good. I've been watching a little of it. I haven't watched it. I was doing the college one, but basically that's what you're looking for. But I did not play the Giants. I don't want anybody getting mad who's a customer saying, oh, I thought you didn't play the Giants. No, I didn't play them, but I like them. But I'm just showing you, because of the injuries, I didn't play them. But that was the trend, was to play the Giants. They just play well in Washington, and that's part of my keys. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plays this week in the pros. I'm handicapped because I got some bad matchups, and then I have teams that aren't playing, like Cincinnati, Denver, Seattle, teams that I would play, Arizona, that are very strong against the spread, but they're not playing. And like Buffalo, Houston, I have no idea. Buffalo, Houston is really little. Buffalo's really a terrible road dog, but Houston's terrible. They don't have a quarterback. They can't be favored. You can't trust them to beat anybody. So therefore, I just don't see, if Houston won 20-0 or Buffalo won 20-0, nobody would know, care, or be shocked by it. So those type of games I just don't play, and so it leaves me with just a handful. But I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 very strong plays that should win easily, and one of them's locked with the lock with the college lock. So I'm playing a college pro lock, and I've done this already 3 or 4 times, and I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me if it's college with pro, or pro with pro. If I see games that are good and they're locked, that's what I play. So there's one pro lock with the college lock this week. Highly recommend that. Very good. And let's see what else. Let's talk about some games. San Diego laying 13 to Jacksonville's a trap. Be careful with this one. Jacksonville's got a lot of injuries, but San Diego is the best dog in the league. They're 14-14 the last 2 years as an underdog. 9 or 10 at home and 4 or 5 at home. And they're the best. But as a home favorite, they're not that good. Especially laying 13 to Jacksonville. You cut them to 7. they'll win, but they've lost Danny Woodhead and they've lost Ryan Matthews. So as long as they have Rivers and Gates and Royal, their receivers, they have a very good defense, they'll be okay, but you got to keep an eye on the injuries and who they got replacing. I think they have Donald Brown, who used to play at Connecticut and was on the Colts. He's their running back now, and I'm sure they've got a few others. So just be careful there. But I do like I like San Diego. I think they're a good team, and they're very undervalued. You get good numbers with them. They should never have been the dog at Buffalo last week, but that's okay. I mean, I probably could have locked them too, but I didn't like the early start for the West Coast team. That 1 o'clock start kind of stops me from locking it. But anytime San Diego gets points, and you saw them beat Seattle, I mean, that's what you're looking for. When you get them against Buffalo, who can barely win, it was really, you know, that's what you're looking for. But in this roll, you got to be careful with teams in the roll. San Diego laying 13, laying 7. I don't know. They might win by 20 points. They should win by 20, but their history as a home favorite is more you go against them than with them. But because it's Jacksonville, I don't want to touch it. I would think San Diego would win, but I don't know if Bortles is playing. I don't care. He's okay, but he's not going to do anything. But I just think San Diego kind of sleeps through this game, and they'll probably win by 10, maybe 14. I don't think they'll win by 35. I just don't see it. But hopefully they do. I like San Diego, and I hope I want them to win, to be competitive, so we can keep betting them as the weeks go by. Let's see. I can't talk about that. I mean, that's the problem. It's such a small slate. Baltimore laying 3.5 to Carolina. Baltimore is a great home favorite, but they lost Dennis Pitta. We know Ray Rice is out. Paul Pierce is hurt, but probably play. I think they have a new guy who was playing last week. They'll just throw him in. I'm not a big Flacco fan. Carolina, I don't know what happened to them last week against Pittsburgh. I mean, that's a joke. But the trend here is more Baltimore as a home favorite. I don't really like the game. I mean, Baltimore's laying 3.5. Carolina, my normal impulse would be to play Carolina 9.5. They're a good defensive team. Pitt is out. Rice is out. Pierce, who knows? So it should be a close game. But I like Baltimore as a good home favorite, so I'm kind of torn between Carolina in the 9.5 and Baltimore getting 2.5. So I really don't want to play it. I don't trust Baltimore's not a clear-cut favorite, so I can't play him as the favorite. And Carolina, I don't know. I don't trust them that much to be the road dog here. But Carolina has been covering a lot. That's why I was surprised they lost to Pittsburgh. Let's see. New Orleans -3 against Dallas. This will be an interesting game. New Orleans, they're not a good road favorite. You got to be careful. But Dallas is a bet against team. What do I mean by a bet against team? Means just when Dallas is there, you go the other way. Whoever that is, you take the other side, and normally you're good. St. Louis last week was good. San Francisco the first week, they just don't cover. So this is another influx game where New Orleans is such a bad road favorite. I don't know why. See, I think everybody focuses on Drew Brees, but it's a lot like the Lions. If you don't have a running attack, it doesn't matter. So I think they get in these games, like how do they lose to Cleveland is a mystery, but that's the problem. So they go on the road and lose. They're a very good home team. That's why I locked them last week, because they're home against Minnesota without Peterson, and that made it different. But I don't, on the road as a road favorite, if this is a road dog, it'd be different, but it's a very hard game to call. So you do take New Orleans, play them small, but I don't know. I'd almost take Dallas in 9, but I think that's a better play. But their defense is so bad, so it's a really hard call. There's not a lot I can help you with here because I can't give you my picks. Now I have one lock and two very basically I have one lock and 1, 2, 3 super strong picks, and then one that's very strong. I'll talk about one other. Lions -1.5 at the Jets. I have no idea here. The Lions at home look rolled, and then they go to Carolina and they can't do anything there. And the kid misses all these field goals. I'm not a big Stafford fan. The Jets with Smith, he's inconsistent. I don't know what to do with this game. I'm kind of leaning towards Detroit plus the 4.5. The Jets are not a strong home dog, and Detroit's not is a very weak road favorite. There's very little trend here. I don't know. I think this game ends up being close just because of the Lions just don't know how to really win, but I think Detroit's a better team. Calvin Johnson is injured. He hurt his foot last week. He will play, but he's going to play injured. I honestly don't know here. I'm not playing it, but just beware of teams and rolls is I guess what I'm trying to say here. Very hard. I will talk quickly about teams that are in their trends. The top teams in the trends means they're covering all the time are Arizona, Cincinnati, Denver, San Diego, and Seattle. Are all above 85% in the last 2 years versus the number in a teaser, in a 6-point teaser. Not straight, not in a 10-point teaser, in a 6-point teaser. And the teams you bet against are Washington, Houston, Tennessee, Atlanta, Green Bay, Dallas, and Oakland. So the worst are Washington and Houston are like 95% the last year and a half. They were like, I think 16-0 last year. If you bet against them every week, you won every week. And so I'm keeping my eyes on those. So that's another reason I like the Giants tonight. I mean, again, I didn't play them, but I like them. That's one of the reasons. So you can see when you get these, you're going by who's winning, who's covering, and who isn't. Like I said in my college one, I don't put names on the jerseys. I don't put teams on the jerseys. I'm playing whoever's hot. It was New Orleans a couple years ago. It was Atlanta a couple years ago when they went to the Super Bowl. They were like 17-1. They're still a very good home favorite. But now I've moved away, and now it's Arizona and Cincinnati, Denver with Manning, San Diego, Seattle, and you just find it. Green Bay used to be good. Now I'm getting away from Green Bay. They're actually a good bet against. San Francisco used to be a great team to bet on when Harbaugh was first there. Now I don't know what's going on with them. I can't figure them out. They're not as strong to play, and you never see them blow a lead like you saw them blow the lead against the Bears. I mean, yeah, that was I've never seen Harbaugh's team do that. They must miss Navarro Bowman more than it's let on, and Kaepernick's just, he's not good. He's average. So they're not running Gore like they did before. They're not running that jumbo package. So I don't know what's going on there, but they're not the same right now. New England's another team that I used to bet them all the time. Here they're laying 3.5 to Kansas City, and I'm tempted to take Kansas City in the 9.5 because it's not Brady. Brady's still a superstar. Problem is they don't have a running attack, and their defense is not what it used to be. When they won that first Super Bowl against the Rams and Kurt Warner, it was their defense. They don't have the same defense anymore. They got a weak defense and a weak running attack. So Brady throws 80 passes a game, and he's going to get them picked off, and he's going to get pressured, and he just doesn't have the receivers. I don't understand that organization not to give him a running attack. I don't know why they got rid of Blunt. Maybe he wasn't a team player, but you got to get a running back. And then their receivers just aren't very good, except for Gronk. So what I do real well is just get off of teams. I don't fall in love and, it's Tom Brady in New England, I'm always going to play them. Now, if Kansas City was 3.5 point favorite, I would be locking New England at 9.5. But with New England as a road favorite here, I'm not crazy about it. In fact, I might take KC as the home dog. They've been covering a lot lately. So that's what I'm looking at. Anyway, I got, like I said, 4 real strong games and one that's very strong. Not as strong as the others, but it should win anyway. I mean, obviously, I think it's going to win, but just a little different. Anyway, I would recommend buying the lock this week. It'll be gold, and I would definitely buy the college this week. It's going to be huge, like the pro was last week. But there's good pros. You'll make good money at the pros. The ones that are there are very strong. So maybe buy the whole package, but at least buy the college package. And the lock will be very strong. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please email me. I get a lot of emails, and I'm happy to help. Really, I'm trying to make people money just because I feel that I know how to do this. I've been doing it a long time. And a lot of people get into the trap of watching the last game and saying, oh, somebody won 45-0, you know, I don't know, Dallas won 45-0 over Buffalo, so therefore Dallas is going to win 45-0 over the Giants. That's the trap everybody gets, and they don't understand. It's like craps. Every game is individual. What happened last week is meaningless. Now tonight the Giants are getting better, so I can see that they're getting better, but because they killed Washington doesn't mean they're going to kill the next opponent, but it does mean they're playing better. If you give me the Giants as a dog, now I'm going to bet on them, where before I've been a little afraid to. So anyway, that's what you're looking for, and that's why I'm here to help. So I'll answer questions. I'm happy to talk football. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. Definitely, like I said, very strong lock, very strong college and pro, but not a lot of pro, just 4 or 5 of them. All right, have a nice weekend, everybody. Take care.